go to sleep. Some of us are not hungry, we just need to go to bed.
Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel where we make healthy living easy as pie, minus the calories, of course. Corny, I know. But today we're diving into 12 must-know healthy eating habits that every woman needs in her toolkit. Because let's face it, in this wild economy, we need to make our food fun, affordable, and guilt-free. So whether you're juggling a career, a family, or just trying to keep your sanity like me, these tips will help you build habits that stick, minus the guilt. And you know I want to hear from y'all as well. Make sure you sound off in the comments down below and let me know what are some of your healthy habits that have been helping you on your journey of weight loss, fitness, or just overall well-being. And y'all know where to find everything I talk about down below in the description box, my LTK shop and Amazon storefront. Now, are you ready to transform your plate and your life? All right, let's go then. Now, y'all know I'm getting to the good stuff, but I first want you to consider the relationship that you have with food and whether or not it needs improvement. Now, I know for me, that took years and years of therapy because me and food were not good, especially for that first weight loss. It was the result of multiple attempts that had failed. And in order for me to lose that 100 pounds and keep it off, I had to restore the relationship and the faith that I had in food because it was affecting my mind. I had so many extremes around food and a lot of guilt around it too. And that can affect everything in this journey for you. So there's 8 key things that I'm challenging you to when it comes to your food. Pay attention to your food while you're eating. Know what your food makes you feel like. Do certain foods make you feel better or worse? Just know that for you. Honor those hunger cues. All of us have different thresholds. When you eat, are you feeling more satisfied by the time it's time to stop? Do you actually know when you're hungry? Stop labeling food as good or bad. It causes guilty eating. A lot of times when we put that label on it, we then have to dissect what we should have or what we shouldn't, and then we don't even want to treat ourselves. Eat more balanced. For most of us, that's having proteins, healthy carbohydrates, and fats, as well as any proteins, other things that are necessary in our diet in order for us to be satisfied. Give yourself unconditional permission to eat. Now, I'm not saying overly eating. I'm saying when you want something, give yourself permission to have it without feeling guilty all the time. Plan your meals, think ahead, and know what you're going to have to eat, or if you're going to eat out, know what you're going to have. Cook at home. This just makes it simple and it saves you money. And try to eat without distractions. A lot of times we do a lot of mindless instead of mindful eating, and that leads us to overeating and leads back to the guilt and other problems when it comes to eating. Okay, now let's continue. So y'all asked me how I control my snacking, and I curb my snack attacks with more protein, more lean protein to be exact. It's been the key to my current postpartum weight loss. Many of y'all have shared with me that you have a hard time with snacking, and baby, I get it. But that's usually due to us not having enough of what we need in our day to be satisfied. And that, my friends, is protein. So when you want that junk food and your stomach is growling, willpower don't always work. Click like if you can relate. But food choices earlier in the day can set you up for success. So reaching for protein can help you feel fuller longer than carbs do. I even go to the snacks that include protein, like hard-boiled eggs, Greek yogurt, almonds, peanut butter, and even slivers of grilled chicken. I told y'all I get about 140 to 155 grams of protein a day. I usually start with a Greek yogurt bowl with a little bit of apples and some light granola. And I opt for the Oikos Pro. It has 20 grams of protein instead of the regular ones that have 15. I usually have a protein shake or 2 infused in my day. I aim for 6 ounces of protein at every meal. For lunch, I'll have like a grilled chicken bowl with pinto beans or black beans and a small amount of lime cilantro rice. Then I also make sure that all those snacks have proteins like I mentioned. Almonds and sometimes chocolate covered ones. Cottage cheese and fruit amp up the protein quick. Hard-boiled eggs or just egg whites. Canned salmon or tuna in water. A protein smoothie that's homemade with almond milk. And for dinner, I'll have about 6 ounces of chicken breast with broccoli or other vegetables and maybe a little bit of rice or grain like couscous. And I also love yams. Let me know if you want me to make a short dedicated video on my breakdown of my food. Now, I try to make sure that I have veggies with my first meal. And I say first meal because I am a faster and I fast through the early morning hours. People try to have a bunch of rules for what should work and what you should do, but do what works for you. I've had people make comments like, oh, you have a salad this early? First of all, mind your business. Second of all, yes. There is no rule limiting vegetables to lunch or dinner. And if you want more in your diet and you do breakfast, that's a great place to start. Having eggs with a little bit of spinach or something like that, that's going to help you amp up your green leafy vegetables throughout the day. Also, making your omelets loaded. Instead of having a bunch of cheese, maybe have some peppers, some mushrooms, some spinach or kale, something like that to amp it up. Also, make your smoothies loaded with kale or spinach. I like apples and peanut butter and other things in there, but those green leafy vegetables hit, and you can't really taste them. Vegetables are lower in calories than most other foods, and the fiber in them keeps you fuller for longer. The goal is to be full, sis, not hangry, hungry and angry. I can't say this enough, but planning weekly meals has been a huge lifesaver. And for anybody, I'm going to say meal planning all the way is one of the biggest things you can do for yourself. Because let's be real. When you get home tired at the end of the night, the last thing you want to do is think about what's for dinner. And then you just about ready to reach for anything. I've saved myself from the drive-through hell multiple times because I plan. And even having kitchen gadgets can put you in a better position. So things like your blender, air fryer, crock pot, or rice cooker, those things are key when it comes to keeping up on your meal prepping. And before I prepare, I always scan my fridge as well as my pantry to make sure I have items that I can use that are right at home. That saves me from spending extra money or buying things I don't need. And also I get to use stuff before it expires. This year was one of the first and only years that my girl Cam meal prepped for me, especially after having the baby. And it has been amazing. So if you're in the Houston area, I have her information down below. But meal prepping overall doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all about cooking and making the perfect packaging. Your plan could be just to have convenient dinner building blocks right at your hands. So that's like a bag of frozen vegetables or sides or other things that make it easier for you to grab for. Also, you can try things like double batch prepping or just making double of what you make on a given night if you enjoyed it. Sliced chicken and ground beef can double up for multiple meals, and I like to make like quesadillas or tacos or whatever I can that seems halfway healthy, but also is just making use of items that I used or purposed one way earlier in the week. You want to make it easy, simple, and taste pretty good with seasonings. Yes, I said seasonings. Y'all be thinking everything got to be bland, and that's why you don't want to meal prep. You got to make your food taste good, and I'm not talking about with a bunch of salt. Diversify your cabinet and your seasonings in order for you to see gains. Also, I keep my mind open to other sides that I like Alexia fries or yams, as well as my green leafy vegetables, but also I like to have stuff like lime rice or couscous. Make sure that you're giving yourself proper portions. Shocker, but most of us don't eat enough to reach our nutrition goals. And some of us overeat for several reasons as well. But one of the biggest things that guide how much you eat is portion sizes. Studies have shown that people eat more food even when they don't like it if it's in a larger container or dish. So reduce and minimize the size of your dish in order to limit the amount that you're having. Ain't that something? We'll even eat it if it's nasty. Eat more of it. Also, help yourself by getting good pre-portioned foods that you enjoy. And that's where HelloFresh comes in, and they're the sponsor of today's video. Now, y'all know I love me some HelloFresh and have for years, and the holiday season is right around the corner, and all of us are looking for ways to spend and stress less. HelloFresh makes mealtime nearly hassle-free with delicious, home-delivered, chef-crafted recipes that come together quick and are less expensive than takeout. Step out of your recipe rut and make fun, flavorful meals without needing to hunt for specialty ingredients. And HelloFresh's pre-portioned ingredients means less food waste. Easily customize your recipes so each meal is the way you like it. There are always options available to swap out sides as well as upgrade your proteins and make some changes. So HelloFresh makes it really easy for the family to stay on track. I love that everything is so good and the portion sizes make sense. And my husband, who's on the cooking ministry and usually the food guru around here, he loves making their meals. And he's Mr. Picky. Get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com and use code BBBD10. Applied across 7 boxes, new subscribers only, and varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com and use code BBBD10. Visit my link in the description box below. Hey, boo-boo.
Hi. Let her say hi. Dang. Can she say hi to the people?
Hey, why you doing that?
Let her say hi. My goodness. See, she want to say hi. Ooh.
Every time. She like, what's that on your lips? It's important to get very aware about your vitamin levels and needs. Aside from what you eat, how you nourish and supplement plays a huge role. But remember, food always comes first here. Talk with your doctor about this, but I really had to take control of my vitamin levels. More specifically, I really focus heavy on vitamin D, calcium, and magnesium. If you don't get enough calcium in your diet, your body will take calcium from your bones to make cell functioning normal, which can lead to weakening bones or even osteoporosis. And we ain't got time. Think foods like your leafy green vegetables, fish like sardines, tahini, dairy products, grains, tofu, cabbage, and even summer squash. Magnesium increases calcium absorption. In fact, your body can't even utilize calcium without it. Good sources are, again, those green leafy vegetables, summer squash, broccoli, halibut, cucumber, green beans, celery, and a variety of seeds. Vitamin D is also crucial to the metabolism of calcium. And of course, you can get this through direct sunlight, but also salmon, vitamin D fortified milk, shrimp, cod, and eggs. Now, I told y'all before, when I had low vitamin D, everything suffered. I got super sick. I had pneumonia. Not only that, I had so many setbacks, and I could even notice it in my energy levels. My hair kind of came out a bit. It got a little thinner. There was a lot of things going on. And until I corrected that, I had a lot of difficulties. So make sure you're taking care of your nutrition overall and those vitamin levels. And blood tests at your doctor can help you prove what's there and what's not. It's important to appreciate the less expensive foods as well. You don't have to eat like a king or queen every day. And many foods that we find can be inexpensive and nutritious. And by making a few tweaks, I've been able to make inexpensive meals that still are nutritious. But especially since I'm no longer vegan, I use a lot of things like eggs, beans, seeds, frozen fruits and vegetables, cheaper cuts of meats or lean proteins, and whole grains. These taste good, they're cheaper, especially in bulk, and they carry high levels of nutrition. Hey sis, some of us are walking around here way too salty and sugary, so we need to watch the salt and sugar we're taking in. And especially if you're a person like me and you bloat at the drop of a dime, baby, I retain water easily. So even if I just have a little bit of extra salt, I can tell the difference in the morning. My legs will swell, my feet will swell, my fingers will swell, and not hugely, but I can just notice the difference. And I don't have high blood pressure, so salt can cause an issue. So I stay away from a lot of processed foods and those TV dinners and things like that that pack everything in salt. And we know that salt can lead to high blood pressure, but also heart disease and strokes, which we're seeing younger and younger. And I know we get the sugary sweet tooth, but that can mess with you too. Weight loss efforts, heart health, oral health, mental health, and diabetes. Sugar does a number on our bodies. And limiting those highly processed foods and also sticking with more whole foods can definitely help. Also flushing your body with water and making sure you're staying hydrated. I also noticed that anytime I am going to have my cycle or anything like that, if I'm having extra salt, I retain more water. So you want to stay away from it and monitor your salt. I like to cook with things like powders, garlic powder, onion powder, mixed seasonings that don't include salt. And if I do have salt, I have just a pinch that I can measure because I know that it's going to wreak havoc on my body. Unfortunately, fighting cravings is not as easy as calling the Ghostbusters, okay? We got to fight them on our own. Cravings are a beast, and I'm definitely not above it all. But there are some specific things that you can do to help. I found that asking myself if I'm actually hungry helps me. Also, indulging a little. Sometimes you got to give yourself a little bit. Cut off a little piece of cake, have a spoonful of ice cream or something like that to give yourself something. Sometimes you find that you just want the taste. Be mindful and eat mindfully. That way you will internalize how much food you're actually having or what you're craving and really enjoy it if you are going to treat yourself. Go to sleep. Some of us are not hungry, we just need to go to bed. Drink more water, which is going to make you feel fuller, faster. Distract yourself. Find a show that you like or do something else when you're having heavy cravings and you know you've gotten enough nutrition. And also figure out why you're craving a certain food. Sometimes, like I mentioned before, we're not getting the nutrients that we need. Our body has ways of telling us that, and sometimes it comes out in cravings. If you're not having enough protein, enough carbohydrates, and enough good things that are really sustaining your body, you're going to be craving everything. I mentioned before that in the past, I haven't had the greatest relationship with food. So that leads me into the fact that I cannot sit up all night long looking at pictures of food. It's beautiful and all, it looks good. But if you like me, you're going to be drooling over them pictures of, all the wonderful cakes and pies and all of the food. And I'm not even a big sweet eater. But somehow sitting there looking at it brings about more cravings. So let's get scientific about this. Pictures of food can make your body produce more hormones that make you feel hungry. Did you know that? So to stick with your healthy meals and what you need, try to stay away from the foodie blogs and TV shows, and try not to view them until after you've eaten and gotten your nutrition in. Don't say I ain't never put you on. Now, I'll live and die on this hill, but buy yourself some frozen fruits and vegetables, sis. I know some of y'all bougie and you gonna make it up to Whole Foods every day. Butter rum, not me. Fresh fruits, berries, and vegetables are only in season, some of them, during certain times of the year, and when they're not, they're more expensive. But let your sister put you on game. Quick frozen produce and products are just as nutritious. And usually it's also cheaper and available year-round. And also it comes in large bags. And you can use it for so much stuff. Cooking, making smoothies, toppings for your oatmeal or your yogurt. Plus, you gain the advantage of taking out how much you want to use so you don't have to waste the whole thing. I don't know about y'all, but I done found some creepy crawly things. Not actual creepy crawly. Because y'all will run with that. But I found some rather hairy produce that didn't get used or I forgot that we had. And it's just a waste of money and time. So the rest can be kept from spoiling if you keep it in the freezer. Now, it's nice to buy in bulk, but you want to pay attention to the price per unit and not just the price per item. Now, I love buying in bulk just like the next person. I love me a Sam's card and a Costco card, baby. Got both. And buying in bulk can save us a lot of money on certain items. Keywords, certain items. Grains like brown rice, millet, barley, and even oats are available in bulk. All of them also keep for a long time if you store them in airtight containers. Beans, lentils, some nuts, dried fruits, and a lot of other things can be bought well in bulk. But keep an eye on those prices per unit though. Price per item just tells you the cost of a single item. You want to be able to compare size and value based on the amount of ounces or pounds of something that you're able to acquire for a given price. So for instance, we like to buy protein shakes in bulk sometimes. So Premier Protein or Whole Life or whichever one of those proteins are that Sean loves. Now what we do is we look at the price per unit instead of comparing just one bottle to the next bottle. And we do get a better deal by getting them through like Costco or Sam's because the price per unit is much higher. Like we're getting more for the money. So y'all, I hope today's video has been beneficial. I have been on the up and down bus with the fitness journey and learning and relearning my body. So going through that 100-pound weight loss and now going through my postpartum weight loss has really taught me things again and again. And I'm so grateful for you all for this journey and also for sharing some of the things that you're doing as well. Make sure that you comment, share this video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.